Hi, Dr. Ann-Louise Lockart.
Yes, sir.
What is up, everybody? Hello, parents, teachers, therapists, anybody who's interested in supporting kids with executive function challenges. Dr. Ann-Louise Lockart is a pediatric psychologist and parent coach, and we are going to learn a little bit about you. But before we do that, tell us about what we're going to learn on the summit this year.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about some of my favorite topics about executive function. It's one big one is understanding the why behind behavior, that rather than looking at the irritating, annoying, developmentally appropriate, many times behaviors that we see in kids and teens, that there's more than just the procrastination. There's more than just the rolling the eyes, the attitude, the putting things off, not following through on. That's all the stuff we see that we nag, lecture, and discipline. But I think really focusing on the why, going and looking beyond the need, beyond the behavior, and looking at the need driving the behavior so that you're speaking to and addressing that. So we're going to be talking a lot about that and looking at how to shape that so that they can have a different outcome eventually after lots of practice.
Awesome. And then when you meet a parent and they say, "Oh, you're a pediatric psychologist and a parent coach," what does that mean? What's your job exactly? What hats do you
Yeah.
wear?
Oh, I love that one. So my training as a pediatric psychologist, I've been doing that for about 17 years, and that is the kind of the union of medicine and psychology. And so my pediatric psychology fellowship was working in a military hospital with service members and their children and families, and who had medical diagnoses, who had mental health diagnoses, who had behavioral concerns, and working with a multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary team to address those concerns. So not just using medicine, not just surgery, not just a medical exam, but also psychology and behavior strategies and deep breathing and mental health therapy. And so that's what pediatric psych does, is that it's really looking at being a specialist in medical as well as mental health concerns. And then as a parent coach, that was after the fact that I started doing that. And what makes my approach very unique is because my background in pediatric psychology informs my parent coaching, because I'm aware of a lot of diagnoses from a medical and mental health perspective, helping parents understand why their child shows up the way they do and how to address that, how to speak to that, how to shape that, how to teach them through those things, and how to educate their child on their concerns as well too. So I love how my career has kind of morphed over the years. And it really is very fulfilling to be able to help support and educate parents and their kids and teens too.
And since it's so fulfilling, you still do this. Obviously, it matters to you. So, what was the moment you knew that helping families and kids mattered to you? What's your why?
So I think the moment it hit me was when I was in graduate school and I did my first practicum, my first kind of training experience, and it was working in a school for kids without homes. And it was a K-5 school, and I did play therapy with these kids all day long. And I had a one-way mirror that my supervisor would watch me through and give me immediate feedback right after every session. And as I was doing this and seeing the change in these kids just from working with them, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Um, but as I was going through this, also realizing like why it was so important for me to work with kids, because I also then started working with adults in my next experience, internship experience, and seeing that if we were able to catch these concerns earlier, how different this adult's life could have been. And so that's why I'm so passionate about helping parents so that they can break cycles from their own experiences, their own childhood, their own families, so that they're not repeating the same thing that they learned that's not effective, and that they can parent differently and they can feel confident about their parenting skills. So again, I think that a lot of my experiences kind of shaped, with each thing that I did really shaped and informed my why. And it's constantly morphing. I think that's where we don't have failures, and but we have lessons that we learn, like, oh, this is what I can do, this is what I can do differently, and this is why I do what I do.
And what are the best places people can find you?
So my website, as you have up, so anew.sa.com is my practice. That's my website. And I have a team of individuals who do parent coaching as well as therapy, therapy for the state of Texas, parent coaching for anywhere. And so they can find me there. They can find me on my Instagram page at dr.ann-louise.lockhart. I'm very active there. And then Facebook for the older generation, as the young ones say, at a New Day Pediatric Psychology. And so I'm also on Facebook as well, too. So that's probably the best places.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Dr. Ann-Louise Lockart. And if you like what we're doing on our summit here, check out executivefunctionsummit.com, and you can check out the speakers and sign up for free. And thank you so much. Take care, everybody.
Thank you.